Hello, it's Mike from Dimensional Walking. Today I want to do a video on something that's very close to my heart. Okay? It's a short sentence. Okay? It is reality is not what it seems. Okay? And in parentheses, I'm going to say, so they or it told me. Okay? So there we go. So let me build you the picture a little bit of what this is all about. This is about my personal experience I had. I lived in Georgia for quite a few years. I lived in Peachtree City for, golly, I'm going to say probably 10, 12 years. Okay. And so here we go. So it was in the 1980s. Okay. It was a warm Georgia afternoon. The hum of cicadas is in the air, and I am resting or sitting, I guess we'll say, on a park bench in Peachtree City, Georgia. Okay, which, as you may know or not know, it's a planned community. Golf cart paths feels like a little bit of an orderly Americana. Then out of the blue, I'm sitting at this park bench again, and I hear this alien voice, and I really feel it's from an alien, and plants the word in my mind. Okay, reality is not what it seems. Okay, and there are no spaceships here. There's no glowing figure, just the thought that lands like a stone in still water, um, rippling, rippling through your my consciousness, basically for decades. I haven't forgotten that, and that was the 1980s. Okay, so to me, the setting and the delivery made the message even more intriguing. Um, it's not a grand revelation from a mountaintop. It's an intimate, almost casual, yet it's has stuck with me ever since. Okay, that's the important thing. There's many important things here if you want to look at it and analyze it. And I have sort of analyzed it, and this is the first time I've really talked about it. Okay, because it took a long time to digest this, and I thought I wanted to get out there with what some of my feelings are, because I'm not getting any younger. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to the context of what's happening at this time in the world, or in the United States at this time, I guess. So the 1980s there is this cultural backdrop of this. This is a time of the Cold War tensions, Reaganomics. You've got the world is teetering between uh, analog simplicity and the dawn of digital complexity. Okay, we have sci-fi booming. We have movies such as Close Encounters. We got the E.T. Um, so the idea of alien type encounters wasn't like alien at the time. But to me, it wasn't cinematic. Okay, this was not that type of experience. It was this internal thing, a quiet intrusion as I'm sitting at this park bench. To me, this suggests the message's power lies in its subtlety. Okay, so it was a subtle message. I didn't need fanfare to lodge itself into my memory. You know, reality implies might unravel in the mundane, not just the spectacular. Okay. So what does it mean? First, I considered the delivery, a thought put in my head that phrasing hints to telepathy, a which is kind of part of the alien lore, where beings uh, bypass language to implant ideas directly into humans. Okay, So if an alien did choose that method, it might mean reality isn't just what we see or hear, it's what we think. And even those thoughts may not be entirely ours. Imagine sitting there watching kids play or golfers roll by in their golf carts. Suddenly your mind isn't your own. It's a breach of personal, suggesting that reality extends to the inner self. The setting of the park bench amplifies the contrast. Peachtree City in the 1980s was this modern, controlled, planned, predictable bubble, basically. I don't know if you know too much about it, but it started a little bit before I got there. I mean, I guess it was in the 70s when they actually started constructing it. But the thing about it is, it was a very unique place. I was very thrilled and happy to live there, and my children spent a lot of their time going to school there. And some really interesting things happened to me there. And, not that other places I've lived there hasn't been some interesting things. There absolutely has. But anyways, it was a very predictable, serene kind of place, very safe feeling. Uh, so this was pretty crazy for this to happen here to some extent. It's got this suburban calm to it, I guess you might say, at least back then in the 1980s. Yet this alien message pierces that bubble, whispering of a reality beyond the manicured lawns and cart paths, golf cart paths, that is. They're all over the place there. It's as if the aliens are saying, all this you built isn't the full story. Now, I didn't build anything, and I lived there, but I didn't build anything. But it gets that feeling, though. To me, it might mean that the systems were trust, whether a town's design or my own algorithms, are the surface level resting on something deeper, stranger, and less controllable. So this is what's going through my mind. It's been going through my mind since the 1980s. All these different little things, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, the moment was basically ordinary to some extent. I was just sitting at the park bench. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more to this story. I was sitting there. It was a little park that was across from some shopping areas. I think there was a pizza place there. I was waiting for my family to come, and we are going to go have pizza. So that's it. Just felt comfortable, easy. There was no stress on my mind. Was just going to have pizza with my family, and all of a sudden this happened. Um, so it didn't seem to ring. Why did it happen then? So let's explore a little bit more. Not what it seems, uh, part through the lenses. So looking around, I could see trees, I could see more benches, I could see people, and the thought is this real? But the aliens word suggested a veil. Okay, maybe it was a stimulation, maybe like we'll call it today tech dream of that era, where reality is a code running through the scenery, or perhaps it was a perceptual trick. Maybe those trees weren't just trees, they were more than just trees. It's something more, something your eyes can't decode. To see this could imply that the data of describing a park, a tree, a life is a fragment of a larger hidden data set. The alien might be nudging the question, the resolution of our reality's picture. Okay, so I think the alien was trying to shake me up a little bit to make me think. Okay, to make me think. Again, the timing was the middle 1980s, also invites a speculation. Why then? Why me? Was it random or did the moment hold some cosmic significance? Perhaps the aliens saw me on a bench as a conduit, a open mind to receiving this simple statement. To me, this would speak curiosity about the intent. Was it a gift, a warning, or a seed meant to grow over decades? Well, it's grown over decades, I can tell you that. It's kind of motivated me to keep on truth seeking, looking for what is true in a maze of strangeness. Okay, um, I've never forgotten it. Suggests that it resonated deeply, altering how I view the world, and that's absolutely true. It did. Again, the 80s was a kind of a balance of, space shuttles, MTV, but then, of course, there was all this other unease floating around, the nuclear fears, uh, AIDS virus was going around when it just started out then at that time. So an alien saying reality is not what it seems could mirror the duality, hope wrapped in doubt. Maybe it's a call to look beyond the surface, to pierce the glossy veneer of, say, the President Reagan's America or the Peachtree Cities utopia. To me, it meant reality isn't stagnant or singular. It's layered, and those layers might clash. Maybe my task was then would be to help peel them back, not just accept the topmost one. Scientifically, I wonder about the alien's frame of mind, if there is such a thing. If it perceives time differently, say seeing your park bench moment is part of a vast simultaneously now, then reality to it might be a web, not a line. Your 1980 snapshot became a node on something bigger, emotionally or approximation of it. This hits differently with my story. It's an abstract. It's mine. That park bench became a portal, a place where the universe whispered to me. I felt a part, I felt kind of a pull to honor that, to treat the statement as a thread connecting me to something vast. It was humbling. I can't fully decode the moment, so personal, so universal. It's a reminder that reality, where whatever it is, includes this quiet, profound intersection. Practically speaking, I wanted more. I still want more. I now asked, did the voice feel like calm or urgent? I don't remember. I just don't remember what the voice sounded like. I wish I did. Did the air shift or was it just in my head? Without more, I lean on my memory's endurance. That's what has stayed with me since the 1980s. It means it's not trivial. It's a keystone. To me, it might suggest reality is personal, subjective, and yet pierced by truths we cannot ignore. In the end, reality is what it seems, is not what it seems. Spoken to me on that Georgia bench, which meant to me that the universe is alive with mystery and even in the everyday. It's a challenge to look harder, think deeper, and accept that park, the 1980s, my data, all of it, might be shadows of something grander. My experience makes it real, not just a thought experiment. And that's what lingers, a moment where the alien and the human met. and reality bent just a little forever. So that's my story. Okay. I guess I wish everybody had that kind of moment that I did. It was a profound moment for me. It may not mean much to you, but I think if we pay attention, we may find out we all have those moments in life. And it's very important to grab onto that and think about it because I will tell you it's probably has a big meaning. It really does. So, anyways, hopefully you enjoyed. Happy trails until we meet again. We'll see you. Bye bye.